Sripada Srivallabha Charitamritham, Chapter 7. The Description of Universal Spheres. The Efficiency of Elixir, called Biography of Sripada Srivallabha. In the morning, Tirumala Das completed his daily worship and began to narrate. My child, Shankara Bhatt, the divine life history of Sripada Srivallabha is a divine elixir. It is unheard of, unprecedented, and undebatable. You had the good fortune of writing his biography only on account of the boundless grace of Sripada Srivallabha on you. This great fortune, which is not available even to great scholars, is granted to you. This is only his will. The appearance of Sripada in many places at the same time. After he got out of death, the attractive power of Narasavadini decreased. In the past, when he was thinking of any person in his meditation, that person used to arrive without fail to the presence of Narasavadini, irrespective of the distance involved. That power had diminished. Those people who were afraid of him and those who showered him with all praise were not afraid of him. They were troubling him with all sorts of criticism whenever an opportunity arose. His financial position also worsened. Resources for providing 2 square meals a day also dwindled. He came into street wailing at his miserable condition. At that time, Bapan Narya was carrying his grandson on his shoulders. The house of Bapan Narya was situated at the turning of one street. Sri Charan was spending most of his time at his grandfather's house than his own house. He was growing freely into the houses of Sri Narasimha Varma and Sri Venkatappaya Shreshti. Narasavadini wanted to speak with Sripada. He wanted to hold the charming divine child in his arms and kiss him. Narasavadini saw Sripada, who was going with Bapan Narya. Sri Vallabha looked at Narasavadini and smiled. That smile was very bewitching. Then Narasavadini went to the house of Shreshti for some grocery items. There Sripada Vallabha was at the lap of Shreshti. Sripada extended his looks towards Narasavadini and smiled with dalliance. Narasavadini returned to his home with grocery items and from there went to the house of Narasimha Varma. At that time he saw in the house of Sri Varma that Sri Vallabha was sitting on the shoulders of Sri Varma. Again, Sri Vallabha extended a playful smile on seeing Narasavadini. Narasavadini saw Sri Vallabha in the houses of his grandfather, Sri Varma and Sri Shreshti at the same time. He was in a dilemma as to whether it was a dream or the illusion of lost Vishnu. The people of the town were abusing him and finding fault with him. They were blaming him that he was responsible for the disappearance of the self-existent idol of Datta in Padagaya Kshetra. Narasavadini was roaming in the streets like a traveller without any destination. He reached the house like a madman. The wife of Narasavadini grieved on seeing her husband like a mad person. She went inside the room of worship to vent her agony. She found a wonderful spectacle there. Sripada Srivallabha was in their room for worship. There was no end to the joy of those couple. They begged Sripada to partake food with totakura curry to be prepared by them. Sripada did not agree for that. When factors of time, cause and action become favorable at the same time, some rare fortune would be available. A discriminating individual recognizes it and derives benefit. An undiscriminating one fails to recognize it and would be put at loss. At last Sripada agreed to dine in their house, but not in the present life. He promised them that he would be born in the holy land of Maharashtra in the next birth under the name of Sri Nrsimha Saraswati, and that he would certainly visit their house and accept meals comprising of totakura curry. With the powers of his Ganesha incarnation that took place on a Sri Ganesh Chaturthi, another great person with the name of Gajanan would be born after some centuries nearer to his birthplace. It may be possible to change the courses of sun and moon, But it would not be possible for anyone to alter the promises of Sripada. All the living creatures in the creation, including the 5 elements, have to obey his commands. In compliance with his promises, he is steadfast and truthful. Even when universe shake, aeons change, his sportive leela still remain ever true and most modern. In that chamber of worship, Sripada gave some beneficial advice to Narasavadini and his wife. Those sacred beneficial preachings are useful to all devotees of Datta. The following conversation took place between Narasavadini and Sri Vallabha. The dialogue between Sri Vallabha and Narasavadini in the Puja Mandir. The preachings of Sripada to Narasavadini. For the questions of Narasavadini, Sripada Sri Vallabha replied with his preachings. Question: Who are you? Are you God, an yaksha, or a magician? Reply: I am myself. I am I. I am the primordial power that is inborn in every atom in this creation made of 5 elements. From animals and birds up to the entire countless living creatures, I also preside in them in their maternal and paternal forms. I am the preceptor of this total creation. Question: Then, are you an incarnation of Lord Datta? Reply: Undoubtedly I am Datta. As you are having body, I also come with a body to enable you to recognize me. In fact, I am formless, attributeless. Question: Then, you have no form or attributes, is it not? Reply: To have no form is also a form. To have no qualities is also a quality. I am the base for form and no form, for attributes and non-attributes, and I am beyond them also. Question: If you are everything, why weal and woes to living beings? Reply: Me and you are within you. Nevertheless, yourself residing within you is Jiva, and myself residing in you is Paramatma. As long as you entertain the notion of doership, you cannot become me. Till then, you cannot come out of the pairs of opposites like happiness and misery, sin and virtue. When the you in yourself diminish and I in you ascend higher, then only you come closer to me. As you come closer and closer to me, your responsibility decreases. When you are under my care, you obtain happiness and well-being. Question: Some people are saying that Jivatma and Paramatma are different. Others are saying that Jivatma is very close to Paramatma. Some others maintain that Jiva is God. Which of them is correct? Reply: There is no loss if both of us remain separate. Beneficial fortune would occur when your arrogance is annihilated and both of us remain in a state of duality. You remain in a state of bliss, provided you realize that everything is earned on account of my grace and that you are only an instrumental phenomenon. Liquidation of moha is liberation. Therefore, you can attain salvation in a dual state. When you are in a very close proximity of me, I will be revealing through you. When all my powers are revealed through you, when your arrogance is destroyed, the ignorant infatuation in you decreases. In this superior, non-dualistic state, you achieve bliss. This is also liberation because it is devoid of infatuation. When your egotism is totally erased and your presumption of doership is completely burnt down, the I in you fades out and only me remains in you. So, you will attain Brahmananda, that is, profound bliss which cannot be comprehended by mind by any means. Therefore, you can achieve liberation even if you are in a non-dualistic state. The state of Brahmananda is all the same whether you are in a dualistic, non-dualistic or distinguished dualistic stage of spiritual progress. It cannot be captured by mind or word. It is only a matter of experience. Question. Some people who attain the position of Avadutas call themselves the Supreme Brahman. Then are you an Avaduta? Reply. No, I am not an Avaduta. I am the superior Brahman. An Avaduta experiences that everything is Brahman. But I am a Brahman and my position is that I am everything. Question. I do not understand the secret in this small difference. Reply. Avaduta, who is freed from all worldly bonds, merges in me and experiences the state of supreme bliss. He has no individuality, and when there is no individuality, there is no will or resolve. I am in the great resolve for this creation, and I am also in the supreme power. I am in the shape of power of illusion called living creatures. If I order an Avaduta who merged in me to take birth again, he should obey it. Mine is a form of truth, knowledge and bliss, coupled with willpower. Their form of truth, knowledge and bliss is devoid of willpower. Question. Fried up seeds won't sprout, is it not? After attaining the knowledge of Brahman himself, how is it possible to be born again? Reply. It is the nature's principle that fried seed would not sprout. However, the power and strength of the Creator lies in sprouting up fried seeds. In fact, my incarnation in the past took place to prove truth through these theories and counter-theories. Question. Lord Datta, Shripada, kindly explain. Reply. My father who crossed all trios like past, future and present, 3 states of existence, creation, continuance and liquidation, became famous as sage Atri. My mother became well known as Anasuya because she was not having the slightest envy or hatred towards any creature or any matter. Sage Atri undertook a severe penance to visualize the Param Jyoti, that is, a sacred flame, which is of the support for the Trinity and also beyond it. Mother Anusuya also did penance praying that Param Jyoti to look at each living being and material with ambrosial glances and shower grace on them. Living beings experience weal and woe according to the principles of karma. Therefore, Mother Anusuya used to pray with a good intention that the results of great sins should affect people slightly and the results of small virtuous acts should give bountiful results. Mother had transformed strong metal pieces in the shape of chickpeas into live, eatable chickpeas by virtue of her spiritual power acquired through penance. Metal is consciousness in complete dormant state. Trees and tree-related substances are consciousness in a partial state. Animals belong to a state of complete consciousness. The evolution of man takes place in the following manner. At first, born as metal and then dies. Afterwards, takes birth as trees and creepers. Then takes birth as animals and finally emerge as a human being. Such a human being should cultivate discrimination, wisdom, and detachment and awaken the divine power dormant in him and strive to achieve liberation. Mother had proved that the properties of evolutionary process can be changed with the grace of Almighty. The consciousness of Trinity was in an awakened state. Therefore, she changed it into a dormant state and transformed the 3 god heads into small babies, powers of 3 mothers, that is Lakshmi, Parvati and Saraswati combined, and the manifestation of Anaga Devi took place. I was born as Dattatreya and married Anaga Devi. In the incarnation of Sripada Srivallabha, I was born with Anaga Devi on my left side and Dattatreya on my right side. This is a form of Lord Shiva combining half masculine and half feminine features. You must understand that Lord, who created this magnificent creation according to his free will, is also having the strength and power to alter the principles of creations when needed. Question. Shripada, you are capable of changing the principle and nature of the creation. Can't you remove my poverty? Reply. Certainly I can, but I am postponing it to the next birth. That too after you suffer from the penury for some time. Totakura is a small thing, but how much attachment you developed for it. My mother, father, or grandfather never begged anyone for anything. How much food a small boy like me will consume? You should have given Totakura when I liked it. Now that time elapsed. This lifetime is not sufficient to purge the impurities in your mind. Each individual would be endowed with lifespan, wealth, beauty, and fame commensurate with his accumulated credit of punya. The fruits of sin would result in short lifespan, poverty, ugliness, and infamy. I have enhanced the duration of your life by extracting a major portion of your accumulated punya. The credit on account of your punya was largely spent and the sinful portion remained in a large measure. You should suffer poverty. Even then, because you have adored self-existent Datta, I am granting you 2 square meals a day. You will not get troubled in spite of your poverty. Question. Shripada, scriptures enjoin that we should follow caste system. Your grandfather decided that Vaishyas can have investiture of holy thread under Vedic system. Is it not wrong? Reply. Your tongue should be slit as you are finding fault with the decision of that Satya Rushishwara. Whom do you think is our grandfather? He is actually Bhaskaracharya. The couple, Vishnudatta and Sushila, were very sacred persons who did not know what was selfishness. I instructed the deities of time and action to make them my parents. The ancestors of Narsimha Varma were great devotees of Sri Lakshmi Narsimha Swami. They were pious people who organized large-scale food feeding during the sacrifices and rituals in Simhachalam. Even before I was born in Pitakapuram, I was planning in a systematic way. My relationship of indebtedness for those 3 families will not be redeemed in one life. It will not end in one incarnation. My auspicious bestowing boons would be extended to them for many generations. They live without any worry under the shade of my divine canopy. The assurance of Shripada to his devotees. As far as my matter was concerned, you could not give me even the cheap Totakura. If you offered me meals, you could have earned merit equivalent of feeding lakhs of Brahmins. You lost a lot of fortune. You should depend upon scriptures when a debate arises as to who or what is dharma and what is adharma. However, when a doubt arises whether the injunctions of the scriptures are to be implemented or not, the decision of the pure-hearted people is to be regarded as an injunction of scriptures. Whatever they say is Vedic truth, and their word is acceptable to the tenets of righteousness. Even if they want to pronounce an unrighteousness decree, the goddess of justice would not allow them to digress into an evil path and compel them to deliver a correct judgment. Your scriptures tell that it is sin to harm others. The battle that was fought in the presence of Lord Sri Krishna is a famous one as a righteous battle. The place where the battle between Kauravas and Pandavas took place has become famous as Dharmakshetra. Religious sacrifice gives punya. But when the Supreme Lord Shiva was not invited, the sacrifice performed by Daksha ultimately became a big battle. The head of Daksha was cut and fell. The head of a goat was fixed for him. While there is aggravation of bile, the physician would treat the patient with lemon and usiri, that is, acid microbalm. When a part of the body is putrefied, the surgeon would sever it with a knife and treat it. I am also the same. Features of deities and devils are also within me. I behave like a lunatic, a ghost, and also a devil. Nevertheless, love towards all living beings would be overflowing within me. My conduct would be in tune with your nature, the good and the bad results of your actions. I will not leave the hands of the devotees who render total surrender to me. I will drag my devotees residing in distant lands forcibly to my kshetra. You should not discuss the origin of sages and rivers. Has not the Supreme Shakti took birth as Kanika Parmeshwari in Vaishya caste? There are accomplished siddhas in Vaishya sages, not only for Brahmin, Kshatriya and Vaishya castes, but low caste Sudras are also eligible for Vedic Upanayanam if they observe spiritual discipline and regulations. The third eye should open up by performance of Upanayanam. The inner consciousness should get purified and mind should concentrate on the knowledge of Supreme. Your mind is completely absorbed in the knowledge of vegetables. Do you think that Brahman is a commodity to be procured in the market? A Brahmin in his life may be born as a pariah in the next birth, and a pariah in this birth may be born as a Brahmin in the next birth. Please note that the Supreme Brahman transcends time and space, caste and religion. God likes inner feelings and not external appearances. God works according to your feeling. When matters relating to knowledge of Brahma come up, I am a Brahmin. When holding court inquiring the welfare of devotees and granting them favors, I am a Kshatriya. For every living being, our wage would be fixed according to their actions of virtue or sin. The wages of every person are with me. When I weigh and measure for calculating what is due to every individual, I am a Vaishya. As I serve people by attracting unto my body the troubles and pains of my devotees, I am a Shudra. When I wash out the sins of living creatures, I am a washerman. When I burn the dead ashes and grant them noble births, I am a keeper of burial ground. Now, decide and tell me of which caste I belong. Question. Shripada, please excuse me. I am an ignorant one. Your Lord Datta himself. You are the sole refuge for all living creatures. You kindly explain to me how the creation is formed. This description of several worlds. Reply. There are 88,000 sages in heaven who are householders. They are having the nature of transmigration of souls. They stand as seeds of propagating dharma again. From the undefinable power of the universal soul, a small fragment took the shape of Brahma for creation of the universe. Water, which came out gradually from Paramatma, spread out everywhere. From the vigor of the super soul, many crores of golden eggs were formed. This Brahmandam, that is universe, in which we are living, is one among them. When the inside of the egg was filled with gloom, the brilliance of Parameshwara was personified and became famous under the name Aniruddha. As he illuminated the egg with its magnificent luster, he was termed as Hiranyagarbha, Surya, Savita, and Param Jyoti, and many other names in Vedas. Sage Bharadwaja conducted the sacrifice of Savitra Kataka Chayanam during Treta Yuga in Pitakapuram. Savitra Kataka Chayanam was addressed to the great splendor of Dattatreya that enveloped many crores of universes. In Satyaloka, there is an important place called Niramaya Sthan. In 3-tier steps, deities of mains called Vasurudra Adityas reside. They act as the guardians of Niramaya Sthan. The Karana Brahma Loka is the residential place of 4-faced Brahma. Srinagar, which is also famously known as Vidyasthanam, and the Moola Prakriti Sthanam, that is, elemental nature's center, is above it. Above that, Maha Kailas is there and the Karana Vaikunta is above that. Known as Puranapuram is the place of Vidyadhara Sthan in Satyaloka. Sadhyas reside in Anjanavatipura of Tapoloka. Sanaka, Sananandana and other sages live in Ambavatipura of Janaloka. Siddha and other sages live in Jyotishmatipuram of Maharloka. Indra and other deities reside in Amaravatipuram of Swargaloka called as Suvarloka. The celestial architect Vishwakarma live in Radhantapuram of Bhuvarloka, which houses stars and planets of the globe. Grandpapa, there are two divisions in Bhuloka, that is, the earth. The division inhabited by humans is called Bhugola. There is another one known as Mahabhumi. Mahabhumi is situated at the south of Bhugola at the distance of 5 crore Brahmanda Yojanas. Martyaloka means Bhuloka and Bhuvarloka. This includes Mahabhumi also. Patala means Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Talatala, Mahatala, Patalas. Roughly, these are called as Swarga, Martya and Patalas. Mahabhumi is situated below the earth in which we live. It is in the form of a rising circular ground in the middle. Therefore, the illumination from sun and moon constantly light the surface of Mahabhumi. As there is always light, there is no determination of time there. On this great earth, 7 seas and 7 islands exist. Jambudvipa is situated here only. At the beginning of creation, everything was inundated with water. As Prajapati did penance for commencing creation, a lotus leaf appeared on the water at that time. Prajapati assumed the form of a wild boar and took a dip near the lotus leaf and reached the Mahabhumi. From that Mahabhumi, he dug with his sharp tusks and separated some mud and brought that wet mud to the surface of the water. That mud was placed on the lotus leaf. Then it was named as Prithvi. Ayya, this is called as earth. The earth is a distance of 5 crore Brahmanda Yojanas. That is, one ordinary yojana is equal to 10 miles. From Mahabhumi. Mahabhumi is having an extent of 50 crore yojanas. Jambudvipa, which is in Mahabhumi, is having 9 continents in it. Deities reside in Daivakanda. In Garbhastya Kanda, spirits. In Bharata Kanda, human beings reside. In Saraka Kanda, Siddhas. In Gandharva Kanda, Gandharvas. In Purusha Kanda, Kinnaras dwell. Demons in Tamra Kanda, Yakshas in Seru Kanda, and Panagas in Indu Kanda live. Southwards to Jambudvipa of Mahabhumi is Bharatapura of Bharat continent. Vaivasvatamanu holds court along with sages of the earth and humans. Just as Jambudvipa exists in Mahabhumi, another Jambudvipa exists on earth. Even before I incarnated in Sri Pitakapuram, the incarnation of Sri Pada Sri Vallabha arrived on the Mahabhumi 100 years in advance. The Jambudvipa on Mahabhumi is spread over an extent of 1 lakh Brahmanda Yojanas. Only in Bharat subcontinent of Jambudvipa, Vaivasvatamanavu dwells. In other continents, celestials reside. In Jambudvipa of Mahabhumi, cold and heat would be moderate and pleasant. Mild rays of sun spread always, but there is no difference between day and night. Jambudvipa in Mahabhumi spreads over 1 lakh yojanas. The details of the extent of various seas and mountains are samudrams and dvipas with the given distances. Lavana Samudram 1 lakh yojanas. Plaksha Dvipa 2 lakh yojanas. Ikshu Samudram 2 lakh yojanas. Kusa Dvipa 4 lakh yojanas. Sura Samudram 4 lakh yojanas. Krauncha Dvipa 8 lakh yojanas. Sarpa Samudram 8 lakh yojanas. Saka Dvipa 16 lakh yojanas. Dhadi Sea 16 lakh yojanas. Salmali Dvipa 32 lakh yojanas. Kshira Samudram 32 lakh yojanas. Pushkara Dvipa 64 lakh yojanas. Pure Water Sea 64 lakh yojanas. Chala Chala Mountain 128 lakh yojanas. Chakravala Mountain 256 lakh yojanas. Loka Loka Mountain 512 lakh yojanas. Thamobhumi 1250 lakh yojanas. Rays of sun cannot go beyond Loka Loka Mountain. Therefore, the area between Loka Loka Mountain and the wall of the universe is always dark. The wall of the universe is having thickness of 1 crore yojanas. The Varaha and Narsimha incarnations were not covering the entire earth. Varaha is not pig. It is rhinoceros having 1 tusk. Dvipas, Dvipa Adipatis and Dvipa Devatas. Whereas Jambu Dvipa in Mahabhumi was ruled by Swayambhuva Manavu as the first emperor, his sons became kings for the other islands. Medadipati ruled Plakshma Dvipa. Vapushmanta ruled Salmama Dvipa. Jyotishmanta ruled Kusa Dvipa. Dutimanta ruled Krauncha Dvipa. Havya ruled Saka Dvipa. Savana ruled Pushkara Dvipa as first emperors respectively. In Plaksha Dvipa, Araika, Kurara, Vindaka and Bhavina are the 4 castes who reside. For them, Vishnu in the shape of moon is the deity. In Salmali Dvipa, Kapila Varna, Chakravaka Varna, Pita Varna and Krishna Varna are the 4 castes who reside. They are worshippers of Vishnu. In Kusadvipa, Dami, Shushmina, Sneha and Mandeha are the 4 castes who reside. For them, Brahma is the deity of worship. In Kraunchadvipa, Pushkara, Pushkala, Dhanya and Pishya are the 4 castes who reside. For them, Rudra is the deity of worship. In Sakadvipa, Manga, Magadha, Manasa, Manda are the 4 castes who reside. They worship sun god. In Pushkara Dvipa, there are no 4 castes. All are happy like celestials without any suffering from diseases and sorrows. For them, Brahma is deity of worship. In Jambudvipa of our earth, Bharata Varsha, Kimpurusha Varsha, Hari Varsha, Ketumala Varsha, Ilavatruta Varsha, Bhadrasva Varsha, Ramyaka Varsha, Hiranyaka Varsha and Kuru Varsha are there. Just as Jambudvipa with the division of continents exists in Mahabhumi, another Jambudvipa with bifurcation of regions exists in Earth's hemisphere. Mahabhumi is round with an elevated area in the middle like the shell of a tortoise. This is called Bhumandala. The globe of the earth is, however, like a lemon fruit. Mahabhumi encircles Meru Rekha and extends upon the wall of Brahmanda. But earth stood in the equi-middle point of the circle of illumination. Jambudvipa lies encircling the line of Meru mountain, which is in the middle of Mahabhumi. 7 seas and islands are situated around it. In the earth, the northern hemisphere is called Devabhaga and the southern hemisphere is called as Asurabhaga. Meru is divinely shining in the equidistant central point in the Mahabhumi. It is the habitation of Manus who rule over humans. Bhugola is the place of humans who are under the rule of Manus. The wheel of illumination is fixed on the top of Chakravala mountain, which is situated around in the Mahabhumi. The Bhugola is, however, situated differently. Sparkling of wheel of illumination covered by 7 paths go around the earth once in a day. In Mahabhumi, cold, heat, and other climatic changes are less. It is always day with no night and no difference in time. It is different in Bhugola. Only on account of the results of righteous acts of merit one can reach Mahabhumi. Bhugola is the Karma Bhumi, that is, land of action for earning punya. People with gross bodies have to live on earth. In Mahabhumi, small pralaya do not take place. Only Manu pralayas, that is, the deluge of Manu, takes place. In Bhugola, Yuga Pralaya, Mahayuga Pralaya and Manu Pralaya are happening. Mahabhumi is called Dhatri and Vidhatri. Bhugola is called Mahi, Urvi, Kshiti, Prithvi and Bhumi. Tata, I am now telling you about nether worlds, that is Patala Lokas. Listen. Ghosts live in Atala, Guhyakas live in Vitala, demons live in Sutala, spirits abound in Rasatala, Yakshas in Talatala, Manes in Mahatala, and serpents in Patala reside. Descriptions of denizens of Lokas, Lokadipatis, and continents. Kubera reside in Vitala. He is the lord of Navanidhis, that is, 9 treasures. He is treasurer for the Brahmanda. He is the ruler of the northern side. His capital is Alakapuri in Vitala. Maya lives in Yoginapuri, which is on the western side of Meru in the same Vitala. He is the architect for the demons. He constructed for Tripurasuras 3 townships which can cruise in high altitudes in the sky. Yamadharma Raja rules Vyavasvatapura in Sutala. He is the lord of southern side. A river of blazing flame is at the entrance of that town. This is called Vyatarini. People having punya can cross this river easily, but it is very difficult for sinners. A demon, Niruti, rules Punyanagar in Rasatala. He is the lord of southwest side. Betala, with hordes of devils, dwells in Danistapura in Talatala. The consort of Katyayani, Esana, with all Bhuta Ganas, live in Kailasa of Mahatala. He is the ruler of Ishanya, that is, northeast direction. Sriman Narayana Murthy is residing in Vaikuntanagar in Patala. He is here with all splendor. He is served by the spirits of Patala, Vasuki, and other superior serpents. He is resting on the couch of Sheshanagu. This is called Karya Vaikunta, situated in Sweta-dipa. In the last Patala Loka, there are 3 tire segments. In the first segment, bodiless creatures live. In the second segment, groups of ghosts stay. In the third segment, creatures who take bodies of suffering remain immersed in great misery. 7 seas and 7 islands are in Mahabhumi. In the middle of it, Jambudvipa is situated. That was divided into 9 continents. The continent in the south is called Bharatakanda. Swayambhuva Manavu resides in Bharatapura in this continent. Many virtuous people and sages are under the rule of Manavu. They administer the worlds and enforce principles of righteousness and unrighteousness. Surrounding the 7 islands on Mahabhumi, mountains called Charachara, Chakravala, Lola Loka rise upon Swarga Loka. These are layers which do not allow any light to penetrate through them. Below Mahabhumi, 7 nether worlds exist. They are called Saptapatalas. Atala Loka is inhabited by devils. In Alakapuri of Vitala Loka, Kubera resides. In Yoginipura of Vitala Loka, Mayas live along with demons. In Sutala Loka, Emperor Bali lives with his demon servants. Yamadharma Raja lives in Vyavastapura. Sinners suffer their punishments in the various hells here. Punyapura in Rasatala is the seat of Niriti. Here, spirits and similar other categories exists. Betala resides in Dhanishtapura of Talatala. In Kailasapura of Talatala, Rudra dwells. Mahatala is the seat of Manis and forefathers. Svetadvipa Vaikunta is in Patala. Narayana lives here. In the lower portion adjacent to Meru, bodiless creatures, souls of the dead and suffering bodies exists. In a place called Nirlamba Sucharyagrastan, sinners of heinous crimes find a place. After meals, in the post-water offering, water is offered to these people with chanting of mantra. Raurave Apunya Nilaye Padmarbude Nivasinam Ardhinam Udakam Dattam Akshayam Upatistate. Description of lokas, their names and extents. Please understand clearly that Bhugola, that is the globe, and the Mahabhumi in Bhuloka are different. Surya Loka shines in Meru Rekha in the area that extends upper polar star in the upper region above the central point of Bhugola. This is the world where Surya Deva resides. This is not at all the area of planet Sun. In the same way, Chandraloka, Angarakaloka, Buddhaloka, Guruloka, Sukraloka, Shaneshchara-loka, the loka of presiding deities of Rashis, the loka of deity of stars, the loka of 7 sages, and the upper Dhruva loka exists. Besides these, there are many other lokas. Surya Loka is situated in 1 lakh Brahmanda yojanas from the central point of earth. This is the world where Surya Deva, who is the presiding deity of planet Sun, lives. The following lokas are situated at distances from the central point of earth as lokas and their distances. Chandraloka, 2 lakh Brahmanda yojanas. Angarakaloka, 3 lakh Brahmanda yojanas. Buddhaloka, 5 lakh Brahmanda yojanas. Guruloka, 7 lakh Brahmanda yojanas. Shukraloka, 9 lakh Brahmanda yojanas. Shaniloka, 11 lakh Brahmanda yojanas. Loka of presiding deities of Rashis, 12 lakh Brahmanda yojanas. Loka of deity of stars, 13 lakh Brahmanda yojanas. Saptarishi Loka, 14 lakh Brahmanda yojanas. Dhruva Loka, 15 lakh Brahmanda yojanas. In the same manner, Swargaloka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, and Satyaloka are situated at various distances from the central point of earth. The distance between the central point of earth and the wall encircling the Brahmanda is about 24 crores 50 lakhs Brahmanda yojanas. The distance between central point of earth and the outer wall of Andabiti is 25 crores 50 lakhs Brahmanda yojanas. Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka and Suvarloka are destroyed during the Great Deluge. Maharloka above Suvarloka is partly destroyed and partly remains. Janaloka, Tapaloka and Satyaloka are not destroyed till the life of Brahma expires. Swarga comprises of Suvarloka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka and are up to Andabhitti. Who is Datta? Narsavadini Tata. To experience the philosophy of Datta, you require some lakhs of births. Know that Datta is the only one magnificent, brilliant illumination that spreads over crores and crores of Brahmandas and transcends them. Know that the same Lord Datta is actually before you as Shripada Srivallabha. On hearing the kind teaching of Sri Charana, Narsavadini and his wife were astonished. as the young infant aged just 1 year expatiated so many profound things with authority, and as he proclaimed that he is verily Lord Datta himself, Narasavadini and his wife began to sob. They wanted at least to touch his auspicious feet. Sri Vallabha refused it. Narasavadini and his wife could not move even slightly from the places where they were sitting. Sri Pada averred, I am Datta. I am the sole phenomenon that pervades crores and crores of universes. Directions are my dress. I am Digambara. Whoever chants with purity of mind, speech and body, Datta Digambara, Sri Pada Vallabha Digambara, Narasimha Saraswati Digambara, I stay there in subtle form. My maternal grandfather, Sri Bapan Narayalu, is providing free boarding and lodging facilities to those who visit Padagaya Kshetra from other places for performing rituals to their means. While it was so you ridiculed, where is your Swayambhu Datta? Has he not disappeared? I am that Datta. Whoever stays in that sacred house of my birth surely turns sacred. Their ancestors will get Punya Lokas. I am the Lord who has to look to the welfare not only to the living beings but also of the dead ones. Both birth and death are equal to me. Nevertheless, you are worrying. Is this the result of adoring Swayambhu Datta? Swayambhu Datta will appear shortly to remove the slander against you. The consecration ceremony also takes place. I am granting you a greater lifespan. Remain in the meditation of Datta. I am assuring you that I will show mercy in your next birth. In this birth, you do not have that much great punya to enable to touch my feet. I, who created, protected, and liquidated crores and crores of Brahmandas, and the sole monarch of all this creation, bless you with my boon-giving auspicious hand. With a great terrible sound, the atoms in the body of Sri Pada disintegrated and Sri Pada disappeared. My child, Shankara Bhatt, Sri Pada had explained the mystery in chanting his name by adding Digambara at the end of the name. He is the nature of omnipresence. It is beyond our comprehension how the formless nature takes shape and incarnates. Where is the end to the sportive plays from his childhood of that Lord of the universe and who wore a cunning disguise?